You want to start?
We can start. Hi. Hi, Vanessa here. Thanks for waiting, and thanks for joining us today, an hour earlier than our usual time. For some people on the Pacific Coast, apologies for that. I hope you've got a strong cup of coffee with you this morning. And welcome to our last webinar of the year. And we're super happy to have a very special guest joining us today with Dr. Bryan Wolynski. And he'll be joining us shortly on our Q&A with Kartik. So just to get going, our program for today is pretty much the same as we normally do. We're going to, this time, however, do a bit of a 23 wrapped and a 24 look at what's coming ahead for us with Kartik. As I said, we're then going to be having a lovely interview with Bryan to actually get his view on his assistive technology best moments from the year, and also get maybe some ideas of where he's thinking we're heading in the year ahead, which I can't wait to hear. And then we have a little look under the hood from Kartik. Last month was a big month in terms of what's going on certainly with the glasses. So probably, maybe just a quick update for the rest of this year. And then, of course, we open up the floor to you for some questions and answers. And so please do that. We're mindful of time. Actually, Bryan has a very important flight to catch today as well. So we will be keeping those Q&As coming. So if you've got some for him, please let us know in the chat. So I'm going to just run through, as usual, a little bit of the housekeeping. We are being streamed live on YouTube, which means also you can catch up with it later on YouTube as well. So check our socials for that link, or just go to the Envision YouTube channel. We're going to do our best to answer as many of the questions that you have as we go through the webinar, in the Q&A session today. But if you have questions doing that, feel free to ask those in the chat section in the Zoom or on Facebook, and we'll do our best to answer those as well. However, in the Q&A, Kartik always likes to bring a few people on live. So if you're invited to speak, that's fantastic. The keystroke to mute and unmute yourself is Alt-A on Windows and Command-Shift+A on Mac. So if you're putting up your hand, raise your hand if you can on Zoom, and to do that is Option Y on a Mac and Alt Y on Windows, or just use the Q&A windows. And then on YouTube, of course, it's the chat function. So I hope that made some sense, but we will come to the questions and answers at the end. So I'm going to pass over to Kartik to kind of take a little moment of reflection and take us what were the best of the year for 23, certainly from an Envision perspective. Thanks, Kartik.
All right. Thanks, Vanessa. Appreciate that. 2023, it's already over. It feels a bit insane. So excited to kickstart another like year. So I think for us, 2023 was like, I think from a technology standpoint, it was incredible to have all of these different developments happen on an AI like front. So like just the beginning of 2023, just the whole thing that happened with like with something like a chat GPT. I think you're not just us, but it took the whole AI world with surprise. And I think I was really proud how quickly our team was able to like use that and offer that as a product called Ask Envision almost within a month of ChatGPT being out. So I think that was incredible. Like to see how quickly we're able to adopt and move with these technologies. And then I think that was just the beginning. I think every a year it just kept on evolving from that point on. So we have been having something like new that we have added as a capability to the exact same AI functionality over the years. So we haven't. So from a perspective, it's not that we have added a new features, but the way we have evolved the existing feature to like such an incredible extent, I think that's a remarkable, right? Like a simple like a way of looking at it is just the describe scene feature, like how describe scene is a feature that we have had in the glasses ever since we had the glasses out, right? Since the last 3 years. But it's started as a feature that will just give you like a one sentence a description of something around you. And from that point, it has just evolved every year. And and we've reached a point now where it can give you a multiple like sort of paragraphs of a description. So it's no longer just limited to giving you a one sentence a description, but it can actually go into very intricate like details of stuff around you. But in addition to that, it's now interactive. You can ask it stuff. Like you can ask it stuff about an image. You can ask it, is there like a trash bin in the room, or how much is the cappuccino? Any sort of stuff that, as long as the information is there in the image, it'll go ahead and answer that for you. So that's just an evolution of just the describe scene as a feature, and it happens like so incrementally, and then so all at once there is this huge advancement to the feature. So I think for us, at least for me, that's been like a review of the year as what kind of a compounding effect can technology have, where every a year the improvement is incremental, but then after a point there is like a dam that can burst open, and then we all of a sudden start to reap the benefits of all the incremental development that have gone into building these technologies over the year. And I think for us, the most exciting thing is all the new users we were able to add to Envision in this year, both on the Envision app and on the glasses. The Envision app, it has seen its biggest growth ever in this year. So I would like to welcome everybody who installed the Envision app in this year and are like now a part of the Envision community, and everybody who also made a purchase of the glasses. This year we sold the most glasses of any year as well. So it's been amazing to have all of these new users who are now connected with us, and all the new experiences that they bring along with themselves. So that's in a nutshell what 2023 has been for us. But I think what's exciting is looking ahead into the future. And to do that, I would allow to bring on our esteemed guest onto the panel, which is Bryan Wolynski, who is the CTO at the New York Lighthouse Guild. Hi, Bryan. Always a pleasure, to have a chat with you. And how are you, sort of like doing at this time of the year?
No, I'm doing great. Thank you, Karthik, and thank you for inviting me. Yeah, and thank you everybody for doing this an hour earlier for me. I know I'm a little later in the time than the West Coast, but I got my strong coffee with me also. So I got my espresso. We're doing good. This time of the year, it gets busy. Winding down is actually a busy time of the year. So it's good that we can review, we could talk about it, we can see what's going on, and looking forward to 2024.
Awesome. And I think to start off with, just for the benefit of our audience, can you probably explain what do you exactly do as a CTO at the Lighthouse Guild in New York?
Sure. So what I always like to say is that I'm the CTO without the IT. So I am an optometrist by trade. I was involved in seeing patients in low vision in multiple kind of different practices, as well as general eye care, um, and worked in many different facets of optometry. And so I call myself, instead of the IT, I say CTO, Chief Technology Optometrist, because I always put an emphasis of technology within my seeing my patients. I always
I
knew
was
it's very important. It's an important aspect to integrate that, not only as a maybe a diagnostic approach for treating or monitoring or identifying eye disease, but also for an individual who is low vision, or just somebody who's having any difficulty, um, who is visually impaired or blind, and having those tools to help somebody meet their goals. So I've always been very involved in that. At Lighthouse Guild, what really I'm doing is uh, any initiatives that are occurring with assistive technology, I'm involved in, as well as bringing any technologies to the community of the blind and visually impaired community of our clients in Lighthouse. And just to even preface more on that, working with all of the other teams that are there, such as our research department, which we have as well. But it's also what we have at Lighthouse Guild is we have a lot of vast and varied programs and services. So first, we're a medical and vision organization. So people come through us, they have a low vision examination, and then they'll see an occupational therapist and we can get more into that too, for a technology evaluation. But why I wanted to kind of get on that, because it's not just about the technology that we have there. It is about creating equal access, so everyone has a chance to try all different technologies and not just one, and see what's best for that individual, and not just what someone might be selling or a distributor. And also it's about building the community. So it's bringing the users of the technology together with developers, doctors, just bringing everybody all into one space to promote and give sort of the future of technology, bringing that to the forefront, and giving everyone a say and developing that. And then it's the health and wellness. It's really bringing that part to it. So it's a full circle and really having a whole team together. So there's a lot of different aspects to what I'm doing at Lighthouse Guild, but hopefully not too long of an answer for you.
no, I think that's awesome. That paints a good picture, and I think it's very exciting. I would say like role to have. Before we jump into into like looking into the future, I think it's sort of helpful to recap the year from your perspective. So if you had to pick like a trend in technology that was the most impressive, I would say like to you, then is there like a like a trend or a technology that comes to mind for you?
Well, there's a couple of things. One is you just hit it on the head just before, talking about AI, generative AI, and what's coming. And basically, AI's been there. AI's been something been worked on for a long time. You guys have been working with it, with artificial intelligence. Many other companies have. So it's not something new to you, but I think it's something new to the public and to everyone. So it's about people adapting to it, trusting it in one way, all the security issues around that. So that's been interesting to watch and see how that transforms. So I would say that's kind of the trend in people trying it and seeing what's possible, and even realizing maybe we don't even know what's possible yet. Other trends is I like that just everyone as a whole and in the community is more aware of what's out there. So I think there's more education platforms like what you're doing here to get awareness out there of what is possible. And also the other trend of companies are now really thinking about accessibility as a start point, I think now, than more than before. So we're seeing what I look forward to and start seeing is companies that are mainstream are thinking about accessibility, putting that in there first, and really striving towards doing a better job.
Understood. Got it. And if you were to then extrapolate this trends that you have seen and look a bit into the future, sort of what do you think is on like the horizon? So how do you think these technologies evolve? Specifically, also if you could add to it how they can be a beneficial for assistive technology aspect of it.
Sure. Like I said, we have more than ever, I think, a lot of startups and entrepreneurs and really great thinkers out there and great minds, young and older. And really, I think a big focus is on age tech. I think a big focus, that's a big trend because population is living longer. And one issue with that is we're going to see more vision loss. So as far as assistive technology is concerned, I think I always like to say, so there's a statistic out there that says this was put out by the and National Institute of Health here in the US that says by the year 2050, there's going to be 50 more % of people with vision loss here in the United States. Wow. So when I think about it, I think, well, I'm an older guy, so that's going to be, mostly it's due to aging eye disease, and I'm going to be in that group. And so it's not something that we are going to just want technology and advancements and utilize it. We're going to expect it to be there. We're going to expect our doctors, our professionals to tell us what can we do to manage our lives, basically making our goals, continuing to work. Most people say age in place. Well, we're not going to be aging in place. We're going to be aging and active. And we need technology to help keep us do that.
Got it. That's a very interesting your point. I think there's a lot of your talk about I think the software development in this year. There's a lot of AI talk and what AI as a software has been able to achieve. But are there also interesting hardware trends that you have noticed that you think will also be exciting to keep a tab on when we go into the next year?
Well, I think hardware is sort of like, I know you guys are doing great things with software, and you always have said to me, we're not a hardware company, even though you have your glasses. I think what we're going to see is more wearables, much more wearables out there, whether it be glasses, whether it be a pin on my collar, whether it be, things that we can't even imagine yet. But definitely I see a trend towards more glasses. I know we have like the Apple, everyone's talking about the Apple Vision Pro coming. But I think it's going to be glasses in a way of sort of giving us information and not so much visual. So I read an article that was very interesting where they say it's really what everyone wants is the information. So when I'm walking down the street, I want to know, okay, what's that restaurant? What's the reviews? When can I get a reservation? So a lot of that information is not visual. It's something I want to hear about. So I do see a lot of like the Meta glasses I know has recently come out. But their AI is not on there yet. But I did pair it with my phone and I tried it out. And so that's interesting. And there was another one that I read about as well. I'm trying to remember from Humane. What is that one called again?
It's called the AI pin.
And that really is amazing to think about how we're going to have a relationship with our, technology. And we all
Yeah.
do. We all have a relationship with it. And I think it's not something to be scared of. It's something to embrace and make our lives easier. And again, it's really about what you want and to meet your goals. So I think I go back to maybe that movie, Her. You know, yeah, we need to have interaction, human interaction, and human relationships, but we still do have a little bit of a um, relationship with our technology. I have a friend who I always invite. I go once a year on a camping trip, and I have a friend of mine who is RP, and I say to him, "Oh, are you coming this year on the camping trip?" He goes, "No Wi-Fi, I'm not going." You know, and that's how important this technology is to him. So um, we'll see where the future takes us in that. We can have Wi-Fi everywhere.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, I think that's pretty exciting, at least for me, right? Because I studied industrial like a design, so I'm always sort of fascinated by like a designs of like machines around us. And I think it was getting a bit boring where all the phones now all look the same. It's just a rectangle, piece of glass that everybody is walking around. So I'm excited about there being a form factor in terms of industrial design out there. It can be like smart glasses, it can be a necklace, it can be a pin, and I think like a best thing that it does is just offers people more of a choice, right? That people then again have all these different like choices, and they can pick what they want.
Well, that's what actually studies show, even with assistive technology. The more choices that someone has with even options or more feedback that someone can choose, rather than having more or less feedback, is actually very important. It's important to the individual. Some want more, some want less. Not two people are the same.
Yeah.
So exactly, the more choice, the better, because everyone is going to be different, have different goals, have different lifestyles, and the way they choose to use it. Like I said, the way we interact with our computers now is going to be totally different in the next 5 years, and I don't even think we can even comprehend. It reminds me too of even Star Trek. Uh, I remember there was one movie where Scotty sits next to a computer and he grabs a mouse, and like there's a mouse there, and he starts talking to the computer, and they said use the mouse, and he says, "Oh, how primitive." And he grabs the mouse and he holds it up to his mouth and then starts talking into it. And then he also got confused that it didn't work and then starts using the computer in
Wow.
the way we use it, with typing in the keys. And it's going to be so different in the future. I think it's going to be more audio, it's going to be more gestures, and just how we're using it. I'm looking forward to trying these things in the future and seeing where we can go.
Yeah, exactly. And I think with all the excitement around this technology development, there also comes the concerns with it as well. People have been speaking about the privacy aspect of this, like a data aspect of this, and how they have the ability to affect human, like a behavior with a combination of those. And then on the basis of this, there are people who are optimistic about the future and people who are like pessimistic about the future, and then everybody in between those two things. What's your take on the people who are more on the pessimistic side and they actually ask for a cautious approach to these technologies?
Sure. So I was actually out with a friend last night. It's a great to talk about this because we were talking about, Chat GPT, generative AI, Dolly, and he's very nervous about it. He says, one, privacy concerns. Two, he's scared of like the machines taking over the world, and in the most apocalyptic terms. But he also thought of like jobs and people taking away from, and really what I say about jobs, I think it's more going to create jobs or create a shift in employment, because it's going to give people free time to be possibly more creative. It's also going to create other opportunities. It's just like anything with change. It's just we have to embrace the change. As far as privacy, yeah, that's a big concern, and that's things that we have to talk about. One is all the regulations and rules that will have to come with AI that are just being formed now. And I think if we do it properly now, then it can be better for the future. And I think people are thinking about that right away, initially, about the securities about it. I know there's some scams currently going on. You could have somebody's voice, and who knows what you could do with that, to copy someone's voice with AI and have it speak to someone. And maybe you have someone, unfortunately, give a bank account number or something like that. So we have to use our own wits about us too. But I think it'll give us more protections as well, because it could be used in a protective way also. So there are some concerns. I do like that, we're using our phones, we're using computers, we're putting information out there. I mean, we're all on buying, Christmas gifts now on Amazon, and we're putting our information is out there. So it's a matter of using our heads and wits about us, and hopefully that the protections are there and that AI can actually be used in a protective way.
Got it. Got it. No, I think, I think we should approach the future, like you said, with I think with like a healthy dose of optimism, but I think it's also good to have a little bit of the cautionary aspect.
Yeah, it's definitely good to question, but definitely I told my friend when we were out, I said, don't disregard it, because if you do, you get left behind, and then you're going to be at a loss. It's sort of like when I had my low vision patients when I was in practice. Every single person I said, okay, are you using a smartphone? And if they didn't, I was like, well, why not? And let's get on it, because there's a lot of power in the smartphone. And I call it the power in your pocket. So just by, there's so many things I could do in assisting someone right away, right at that moment, just with an app. So that's what I think it's about. It's giving power to the individual through technology.
Awesome. Appreciate that. Bryan, I think that was a super insightful after conversation. Just to conclude, can you give people maybe a sneak peek into what the next year looks like for you? Are you going to be around at events? If like people want to come say hi to you, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
Sure. So always, anyone can email me. That's fine. So it's Wolynski, WOLYNSKI, letter B for Bryan, at lighthouseguild.org. So anyone has any questions or wants to talk about things as far as technology, even the practice of low vision, and I'm always up for having discussions. I'm going to be at all the major conferences. Next, I'll be at CES. I'm really looking forward to the Consumer Electronics Show. There's going to be a pitch event by the CTA Foundation, which will be great to go to, which was fantastic last year, to see all the new and upcoming technologies and what's coming out, not only here in, from the people I know, but all the new players that are coming in. And so meeting new people, it's the best part. Then is ATIA, so the Assistive Technology Industry Association. So I have a poster there if anyone wants to come talk about navigation technologies. So I'm going to be talking about the indoor type navigations that we've implemented at Lighthouse Guild in our testing. And then I look forward for the future year in 2024 of testing more technologies, having more workshops, bringing more developers in like you guys. So hopefully you guys can come visit, and we'll do a workshop. And what else? CSUN. So right after that is CSUN, and then we'll see from there. That's there's always all the different conferences in the summer, and then next thing we'll know, we'll be talking about 2025. It goes by so fast.
I know. Yes. Awesome, Bryan. Thank you so much for being on this conversation with us. Always super insightful, as always, having a chat with you. I do stick on for a little bit longer when we do the Q&A. So if anybody in the audience has a question for you, they can jump on and ask you. But before we move on to the Q&A, I would very quickly pass off the mic to Karthik to give us
Sure. Thank you, Karthik.
Hey everyone, I hope you can all hear me okay. So just to go ahead in the new year for the Envision app and the Envision glasses specifically, I think we spoke a lot about Envision being more personalized, more intuitive to use. But one of the things that we're going to be working on immediately in the new year is to bring Ask Envision for scan text. We did speak about that last time when we were on the webinar about how it's going to be easy for you to be able to in documents of any type, could be a PDF, could be an EPUB, and then just simply ask questions of the document like how you would ask a human being, for example, right? So that's something that we're going to be bringing to the app. And I'm very excited about it personally because I think that there are a lot of students who use the Envision app today to study. And and it's going to be quite magical for them to be able to import a 200 or 500 page textbook into the app and just ask questions about a specific topic in the book, or ask it to give you a summary of a chapter, and so on. So these are things that I'm very excited about. And of course, another thing that we're working on right now, and we've been working on it for quite some time, is bringing Envision on the web. So this is going to allow you to be able to read documents directly on whatever desktop browser you use. Could be on Mac, could be on Linux, could be on Windows. And it's also going to go ahead and be available as an extension, so you can install it and use it directly on web pages itself. Another big improvement that we're going to be having in the new year is being able to go ahead and get more detailed captions. We've also again spoken about this previously, but this is something that I'm very, very excited about, simply because the level of detail and the level of accuracy that you have with the new and improved Describe scene is something that you have not seen pretty much in any wearable before. In fact, I would go on to say that this is the level of accuracy and detail we have is something that you probably haven't encountered even in apps that claim to use AI to give you descriptions of things. So I'm very excited to have these two updates out as the first big updates of the new year. And I'm just super excited overall, and I thank everyone who's been part of the Envision community this year in 2023 for not only actively supporting the work we do, but giving us timely feedback and helping us shape a product roadmap that works best for you. So thank you so much, and over to Vanessa.
All right. Appreciate that sneak peek, Akanan. Of course, definitely excited for people to start using these developments soon. I have actually had the privilege of getting a sneak peek into a few of these, and it's beyond exciting, the kind of stuff that we are working on internally, and I cannot await for all of you to get your hands on it. And with that, I would open the floor to people to ask a question. You can do that in a couple of ways. You can do that by either using the Q&A functionality within a Zoom itself, where you can just ask us a question with the Q&A feature. You can also put a question in the comments of a Zoom if you find that to be easier. If you want to come on to the panel and ask a question, if you have something that's a bit more complex, or you would rather prefer speaking to us directly, you can simply use the raise hand feature. And if you have a raised hand, we'll invite you onto the panel and you can just speak to us directly. We are also monitoring comments on YouTube. So if you are watching us on YouTube, you can also just put a comment on there and we'll be picking up the questions from there as well. Speaking of which, I already have a comment in YouTube, which is a question for Dr. Bryan, actually. It says, what needs to happen to get more support from governments when it comes to people getting access to AT?
No, that's a great question. There's a lot of work actually being done on that. There's something called and I always forget I know the acronym. It's called the ITEM Coalition, ITEM, and that's here in the U.S. Sorry, but they are lobbying U.S. government for more coverage for assistive technology, specifically for Medicare. So for our aging population, I know in every country it's very different. So it's important that our governments not only, support assistive technology, but they support here in the U.S. It's so complicated. In other countries, I know it's very different. Where I know when I was working and consulting with assistive technology, some countries like, like when I was in Germany, they covered a lot for individuals. In the Nordic countries, they covered a lot. And where here in the US, it was so much more difficult. And then it complicates things as well, because every state here in the US is so different as well, where I might have an easier time getting someone covered a piece of technology due to, let's say, their job-related skill they want to do, whereas another state, it was declined because their list is not updated enough. So it's a hard fight. There are people doing that. I would say wherever you're located, find your local nonprofit organizations like your lighthouses, speak with them, find out what they're doing, get involved, writing letters to local government officials. They need to know. I once had a patient. It was very interesting. Sorry, I'm going on and on about this, Karthik, because it's like so important. And I wish we could all do a whole lot more and change things. But, it was funny. So this one person who worked in politics came to me, and the only reason why now she got so involved in trying to get a bit more awareness in government about assistive technology and do more was because now she has an issue with vision and vision loss. So it does, we need more awareness within the government to do more. But there are things out there, you just have to know about what's being done behind the scenes.
Interesting. Yeah. No, I think there's just so much happening. And I know that in the US it's also very statewide divided. So there's a lot of things that's being done by the state, and a lot of things being done federally. But yeah, I think there could be a lot more that could be done. I see a raised hand from a John Kovici. John, if you could unmute yourself and ask us your question.
Zoom webinar. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello?
John. Yes,
Hi
John.
there. So whatever happened to any work on GPS? I didn't hear you even talk about it in the future developments. That would be really handy, because if you talk to Ira or something like that, then you don't have GPS, so it makes it more difficult. So it seemed like you could do it because the iPhone is right there, so you'd be able to connect to it in some way. So what's the story with that?
Sure. Yeah, John, that's a good question. That's an ongoing discussion that we are having with Ira, because there's no GPS on the glasses itself, and on an iPhone, the way they handle the location information is in a very secure way. So what we're trying to build is, because Ira already also has your location information from the Ira app. For the information of your location to be streamed from your Ira app directly to the agent instead of it going through Envision, because that's a lot more complicated to go. So that's a conversation that is been happening between Envision and Ira. It's just that there is a need to find development a bandwidth amongst the two of us to build this out, where it is possible to share a location from the Ira app even when the call is being made from the Envision glasses. It is something that's on the pipeline for the Ira team to develop in the next year. That's what I've been assured of. So I do hope that we will have that that feature that will be coming out. But because this is a development that needs to happen within the Ira app, it's not something that I can speak too confidently on. But I have been assured by the Ira team that it is definitely on their pipeline for early next year.
Okay, well, thanks a lot. That isn't what they told us before, that they were saying that you were going to hook up just with the iPhone's own GPS in some way. But I guess maybe you can't. Maybe that's too secure. I don't know.
Yeah, it makes it is a lot more easier to do it within the Ira app, and that's basically what we've come to a conclusion on. So I think that development, it should begin, anytime.
But even if you're not calling using the Ira app, though, what if you're calling using the glasses?
Yeah, so I think the idea is that if you are if you are making a call using like glasses, and if you do want to like to share your location, then you will have to open the Ira app on your iPhone, and you share the location from the Ira app instead of from the glasses, because the glasses don't have GPS, so there's no way to stream location, but it can be streamed from the Ira app because there is already a link between the Ira app and the agent for a location like sharing. So that's the easiest tech pathway to like to allow the customers to share their allocation with an Ira agent, and the most secure way as well.
Okay, so thanks a lot.
All right, John, thank you so much. So if anybody else has a question, they can either do that by raising their hands and asking a question, or they can put a question in the comment section and or like use the Q&A feature. I see a raised like hand from Louise. So I'm going to bring on Louise, and you can unmute yourself, Louise, and ask us your question. Louise, you can unmute yourself and ask us your question. Louise Karan, there will be an unmute option that's on your like Zoom. You should be able to use that to unmute yourself and then ask us your question. There's also like a shortcut for it. So if you're on a Windows, you can do you can do like Alt plus A. That will also allow you to unmute yourself. Or if you're on a Mac, you can do a Command plus a Shift plus A, and that will also allow you to unmute yourself. Let us know if you are able to get that to work.
Another question.
Right. Just looking into some of the other platforms to see if there are questions coming in. So
David Henderson. So wish us a happy holiday.
Finally.
yes.
Sorry about that. It's
No.
Louise. I'm very
Yes.
sorry. What is happening with Be My Eyes?
Conversations ongoing. The ball is in their court, Luis. They need to find the development, a bandwidth. With us, we have built a prototype of making BMIs from the glasses. So the ball is in the Bima Eyes court to really finish the development on at their end, but they have been a bit short on like bandwidth because of all the Bima AI stuff that's been happening on their end. So they need to find the bandwidth to get the ball rolling. But Envision is pretty much like there with all the development that was done on our end, and we are in a constant contact with the Bima Eyes team also. So like we both understand the value of it, but yeah, like at the moment it seems like Abima Ice team just has a bit too much on their plate, and they haven't found yet the bandwidth to complete this development.
Okay, all right, thank you. Just curious.
Sure. Thanks, Louise. Have a good day.
Got a question to add? Ask Envision to that.
All right. We have a couple of questions on YouTube, which I'm going to read. There's a question from from Connor Smith, who says, is it possible to add Ask Envision feature to the Envision app? Yes, Connor, that is the plan. We are currently you're adding Ask Envision to the app. It's going to first be introduced within the scan text feature. So within a reader of scan text, as soon as you take a picture of any document, you can immediately ask it a question of the document and speak with and ask it for all of the question. And then as soon afterwards, we will be also introducing that to the describe scene function. So you can simply ask it to give you a description of a scene, and after that you can proceed and ask it any like a question of an image as well. So that is currently in the development. It's already out in a beta in a week's time. So if you're on a beta, either on the Envision app on Android or iOS, you should be able to start playing around with it next week itself. And if you're not on a beta but on a production version, then it should be out in a couple of weeks' time at most. Right.
Perhaps ask people if they're using Ask Envision, see how they're finding it.
All right. If there's anybody who would probably want to share their experiences around Envision, that would also be very welcome, especially the Ask Envision stuff, the describe scene that we launched. Looking forward to hearing your feedback. There is a Q&A from Olusegun or Ogidan. I'm very sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly, because I'm probably not. And he's asking, do you have Envision glasses in Denver, Colorado? Is there a try before you buy option? Let me quickly check if we have a distributor in the region. I don't remember off the top of my head, but there's always a so if there is a distributor in your region, they do offer in-person demonstrations, so you can actually get the demonstrations from our distributors if there is one in your in like a region. In Colorado, we don't have a distributor, but we have a distributor called a Nanopack who does operate in that area. So if you are interested in an in-person demonstration, we can put you in touch with our local distributor there, which is a Nanopack, and they can come and actually help you out. They're originally based out of Oklahoma, but they do attend a lot of events, and they do a lot of off the business tips in Colorado. So I will definitely put you in touch with them. Reach out to us, and they can offer you in person the demonstration of the glasses. The other option is to purchase these glasses from the website, and they come with a 30-day return on a policy on them. So if you are somebody who's interested in them but not entirely sure, you can just purchase them and use it for a month. And if you are not at the end of the month comfortable with what the glasses have to offer, you can always return the glasses back to us, and we will offer you a full refund for the price of the glasses. So that is an option that's available. I see a raised hand from Terry Ann. Hi, Terry. If you can unmute yourself and ask us your question.
There we go. I think I'm unmuted now.
Mm-hmm.
I have the what I'm going to call the original titanium glasses without lenses,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm considering purchasing lenses. But I'm wondering, do you have are all the models of glasses that you have at this point the titanium ones like I have? the reason I'm asking is I've seen some other smart glasses that look more like the traditional glasses do, with and I just wonder if you have any models of that type of glasses, or are they all the titanium Google glasses?
Yeah. So we do have like frames that sort of come with the glasses. So just the standard version of the Envision glasses, they do only come with the titanium like frame, because that's the most lightweight option. But we have two kinds of like frames that can be like purchased as an accessory, and they are actually capable of holding lenses in them. Then like the first option, which is called the Lux frame, which is a lightweight like frame that can be like purchased. It is exactly like a normal pair of spectacles, and they come in two options. There is an option called Avella Granite, which is like a translucent, a gray frame, which actually looks very stylish. And then there is a Sajama tortoise, which is a similar frame, but it has like it has like a tortoise finish to it. So those are the two options of like frames that we have, and they can be purchased from our website for $149, and then you can put your your like lenses on them that you can do at any local optician or optometrist.
Mm-hmm.
Also, another frame that we have, which is called the Smith Optics frame, and these are a bit more, like a bigger and a bit more, bit more of like a wider frame. It's a bit more like a safety, like glasses kind of a frame. These are recommended for people who are interested in in I would say like a tinted lenses, where they do actually want to block out all of like a light, because they do have a bigger like frame. So that's what they prefer. But most of the people they do prefer the Lux frame options that we have. So if you're interested, I can send you the like links to these on our on our like website, and you can take a look at them. And if you like any of them, you can order them, and you also get the 30-day return policy on like the frames as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes, I am interested, and I did go to the website, and I was going to try and order one of the pairs of the one glasses and the $149 ones, but I couldn't seem to make that happen. But I am going to order lenses, I believe, and
Sure.
I'm going to try and be in touch with you anyhow, because I have a couple of other questions. So I will try and be in touch with you.
Yes. Please do, and I think you can always reach out to us through your support at letsenvision.com, and I'm always happy to help you. Just a like a heads up, we do have currently a 15% off on the website right now. So
Right.
any like purchase on any item on the Envision website until the 31st of December, you will get a flat 15% off on all of your purchase. So just a quick like heads up for you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you very much.
All right, hey, thank you so much for your time. Talk later.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that was Terry Ann. Just going to scan for comments one last time, because we are at the top of the hour, and I know like Bryan has to get going to catch a flight. So I think with that we will like conclude our webinar for like this month, and also happens to be the webinar for the year. So I do genuinely, sincerely thank everybody who like who showed up today to join this webinar, and I appreciate all of the support that you have been showing Envision all through like the years. I wish you and your family a very happy New Year and a Merry Christmas for those of you who are celebrating. So yeah, appreciate you all being here again, and I would also like to thank Dr. Bryan, who took time off his busy schedule for being on here with us. Appreciate your time. All right, everyone, thanks a lot, and we'll see
Happy
you
holidays
in the new year.
Yep.
Thank you all.
Bye.